The other thing that Dean got a call about, and Boris Pittman was asking about the boulevard down by Wall Lake. And we had done some original review of this a number of years ago, and Donnie had done some research. We found part of the file on it. I'm not sure we found everything yet, but Wall Lake's up here, the gravel road comes down here, and then eventually there is some gravel on it, and eventually it turns to dirt, grass path, and then you get down here, there's a bridge. You remember Tunney's Bridge? Is that 9, 10?
It's not really good. There is a big aerial in there that shows everything from Wall Lake west. It was on the back of that. Yeah.
Wall Lake's up here, the old airport area. And so you drive way back down in here, and the bridge sits right there.
This is the main open ditch. This is lateral 1. And Boulevard's on the southeast side of lateral 1. DD lateral 1. DD 60 lateral 1.
And the road was established on that south side, and then it gets down here and crosses here, and then it's on the south side. Down here is between the railroad track and the drainage ditch. And so there's a sliver of the old road bed in between those two. And that's what this last section here is what we're showing here. I guess what we were reviewing before and trying to get a handle on was trying to vacate this section of road down, at least back to the bridge. When you look at ownership, we haven't totally followed that through, but the railroad's got 75 foot on the north side and 50 foot on the south side. But then there's, from the north right away of the railroad, the question is who owns from there north to the center line of the drainage ditch. Even though it, apparently one time the bridge down here on this end burnt up, and so there's no access from the west.
Why wouldn't it be the?
Well, it depends how the transfers were done. At one time, you would have thought these people owned to the railroad track.
Right.
But whether the transfers through the years have followed that,
You'd think it would be the existing plat owner. I mean,
and so then if we vacate this road, would those landowners want access to their parcel strip down there?
so and isn't he saying that he would need to be able to cross the drainage district to this? Is that what you're saying? I mean, it's the same guy on both sides, or same owner.
But he's got, if we close this bridge and take this bridge out of here, and there's no bridge down here on this end, there's no access to that strip on the south side of the drainage ditch.
So we gotta contact the landowners and see what they think.
Well, I'm not sure whether I'll have our guys research the title and try to figure out.
Here's what I think. I think he wants to abandon this from here up to,
Yeah, right.
that's what Burtis is talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to abandon this, we gotta also do something with this down here. And even if we don't abandon this up here and just make it a Class C, I guess I'd still like to get rid of this old bridge down there and try to straighten out the access.
So what are your choices for access? If that's gone, what are your choices?
If the landowner, one option is the county can buy the ground rather than provide access. The only way to provide access is to rebuild this bridge, or if these landowners wanted to structure across the 60, then you're talking about the money to do that. It'd be a lot cheaper for us to buy that, I don't know, we're talking probably maybe a 50-foot strip down through there.
And what are we going to do with it? Wouldn't you be better off just to leave it as it is.
Well, if that's okay with the landowner, we've got documentation that they realize they don't have access to it, and that's fine with them. Yeah,
And then,
that's fine. I mean,
But I can't imagine taking it back and then not having access.
if, I mean, the only person that I think that would have access to is Coster right here. They've got a piece on the north side of the channel, and then he's got a piece between the drainage ditch and the railroad. He's farming a strip in here, and he's actually got a railroad crossing here. So he can go across the track, so he can get from his parcel
Oh,
here to
sure.
this one.
So he could go straight down.
So he can go west of the way on down there. That would be his one thought, and again, until we get the landowners verified, and, you know, it could be that when these people sold, when this was sold to them, they described it as everything north of the drainage ditch, and the piece in between is,
In limbo.
you know, I'm not sure what kind of can of worms we might find. And I think I might go ahead and have an abstractor at least check this area down here out, just to make sure we've got all our I's dotted and our T's crossed.
See, this next mile is that mile where Gus Cleveland was in here with,
Yeah, I figured it was in the area.
yeah, it's down here.
Yeah.
That's on the hearing.
Okay.
But, to me, when we start talking about this thing and just doing a Class C, I guess this thing's been sort of festering for a long time. I'd like to try to clean the whole thing up at the same time if we can. I mean, if we get enough opposition to it, you know, we might not be able to, but right now, the story's told that somebody, I think somewhere in my stuff I might have a name of who supposedly was doing it a number of years ago, but somebody was going down here and mowing this and baling this old road right away. And it wasn't either one of the landowners. It was somebody else from the area that found this little strip of ground down there, found that he could go down and bale it, and nobody was complaining about it, so.
Kept the weeds down.
Yeah. So, but again, you know, the biggest issue we've got, liability we've got, is that bridge that's there. If we can get it vacated up to that point, it's not a real good bridge. Cost or, you know, possibly going across with.
So if it does get that far, and then Burtis would, you think, does he want C or does he want vacated?
Vacated.
I think he would prefer vacated. I guess I don't talk real closely with him. But
Yeah, I'd have to.
at one time, he'd ask about making the C so he can gate it, because apparently he's got people driving down in there and shooting holes in it.
Yeah, I think he wants it vacated,
Okay.
based on the most recent conversation.
Well, the easterly portion of that is still in the city limits of Wall Lake. So the east quarter mile,
The city would have to.
the city would have to address. And I think Vertus's problems were in that area. So unless the city did their portion after we did ours, it wouldn't mean anything. So
Or they could do it at the same time.
do them at the same time.
I assume the city's procedure would be similar to ours. But Vertus, I think, has talked to most of the landowners down in there, and they seem.
Well, he told me he has, but I think I'd want to talk to him.
Well, we can.
To verify.
Well, that's of course the reason for a public hearing. That's why you invite everybody,
Yeah.
to make sure they're aware. So if they do have issues, that's the time to get them.
Well, and there's, until you figure out who actually owns that plot, I mean, you're going nowhere until you figure out who owns it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And what the records show is who owns it might not be what the people think either.
Well, the record's the record.
Well, right. And that's why I think I'm leaning seriously to having, you know, an abstractor check, especially this lower end out down here, to see if they've got some records that are more accurate than what we've got.
That one doesn't look like it would be as easy as the one we have today.
Well, you got a railroad, you got a drainage ditch, and,
Multiple owners.
multiple.
And of course, the railroad, they're always out to try to eliminate all the private crossings, you know, that are out there.